Does the idea of networking make you want to hide under your covers? I get it. You are already juggling client work, school pickups, and trying to be present for your family. The last thing you probably want to do is spend your precious time making awkward small talk at some industry happy hour, hoping someone might remember you long enough to maybe send you a referral. And honestly, most networking advice is terrible for moms. Just show up everywhere, hand out your business cards, perfect your elevator pitch. Right. Because what we really need is another obligation on our already packed schedules. But here's the thing, building genuine connections isn't optional if you want a sustainable and thriving business. The difference between constantly hunting for your next client and having people seek you out, it's relationships. I believe relationships are the strategy, not a sidebar. Connection isn't the soft stuff we get to if there's time. It's the foundation. When women grow businesses rooted in real, authentic relationships, they become unstoppable. And I don't mean the fake transactional kind that leave you feeling gross. I'm talking about real connections with people who actually understand what you do and why it matters. Today, I'm sharing a different approach to relationship building, one that honors your limited time as a mom, aligns with your values, and doesn't require you to become someone you're not. When I first started Poppy Grove, I was convinced I needed to be everywhere. Facebook groups, local business networking events, anywhere businesswomen were, basically. And I was exhausting myself trying to build my network. I remember this one painful networking lunch. I drove a half hour. I paid $40 to sit at a table with a bunch of women who spent the entire time talking about their latest vacations. When someone finally asked what I did, I gave my rehearsed elevator pitch about business strategy for ambitious moms. And the response I got was blank stares. And then one woman said, "Oh, that sounds nice," and immediately pivoted back to talking about herself. And I get it. I was the newbie. I wasn't there to find a new click or even sell anything to anyone. But I drove home feeling like I wasted money, time, energy in the middle of my day on people who didn't understand my business or didn't care to know more. And they certainly weren't going to become my clients, which is fine, but also I needed to be building my business. Does this sound familiar? And that's when I realized I was approaching networking like I was supposed to collect business cards instead of build relationships. I was trying to be impressive instead of being useful. And I was focusing on quantity instead of quality. So things changed when I stopped trying to network and started focusing on genuine connection. Instead of attending every event and exhausting myself, I became selective about where I showed up. Instead of pitching my services to everyone, I listened for ways I could genuinely help people and other moms. And the result was that my business started growing through relationships, referrals from people who truly understood my work, and collaborations with complementary service providers. And I was making connections that energized me instead of draining me. And that is most important for me. So let's talk about why traditional networking feels so awful for most of us. It's not just because we're busy moms, though that is huge. It's because most networking approaches are fundamentally backward. Traditional networking says, what can I get from this person? An authentic connection asks, how might we genuinely help each other? Traditional networking focuses on collecting contacts, and authentic connection focuses on cultivating relationships. So if you think of how LinkedIn used to be, it was how many connections can I get? How many people can I get to follow me? And it was all this like bro marketing feel, like build, build, build. And now what I have found after stepping away from LinkedIn and coming back, there's a lot more soul entrepreneurs on there. The connections are more meaningful. I am creating relationships online with women, other mompreneurs that I would have never met had I not got on LinkedIn and decided I am going to do this in an authentic way that works for me. I would encourage you to give it a try. Here's my approach to building authentic connections that grow your business. First, get clear on what kinds of relationships you need and want. You don't need to know everyone in your industry. You need specific types of connections that support your business goals and your mental well-being. Think about it like this. You have peers. Those are other entrepreneurs that you can brainstorm with, refer to, collaborate with. And then you have mentors, who are people a few steps ahead of you who can offer perspective when you're stuck. Then there are connectors. These generous souls who seem to know everyone, and they love making introductions to someone who you can bring into your community. And then advocates. These are past clients and colleagues who believe in your work enough to recommend you. You probably need 5 to 10 solid connections in each category. That's it. You don't need hundreds of LinkedIn contacts unless you want them. Just a small group of people who know and value your work and will refer you. Second, focus on being genuinely helpful before you need anything. This is where most people get networking backwards from what I've seen. They show up when they need something, new clients, a referral, a job opportunity. But relationships don't work that way, and I don't work with people like that. Start by looking for ways to be useful to people you genuinely want to connect with. Maybe you do see a LinkedIn post where someone's struggling with something and you know how to help them. So you comment on their post, but comment with actual helpful information, not a sales pitch. And please do not get in their DMs and tell them how you can solve all their problems. No, thank you. Delete. Or maybe you read an article that would be perfect for someone in your network. Forward it with a quick note about why you thought of them. These small acts of thoughtfulness build connection over time. And when you do need something, or when they do, there's already that foundation of mutual helpfulness and that trust. And third, be yourself, not your elevator pitch. Nobody wants to talk to a walking business card. They want to connect with a real person who happens to run a business. Share what you're working on. Mention the challenge you're facing or the win you're celebrating. Talk about what you're learning or what has you excited about your work. When someone asks what you do, please don't launch into your rehearsed pitch. Have a conversation. I help ambitious moms build businesses that work with their family life. What about you? What kind of work lights you up? Do you see how easy that is? Over a glass of wine or at the grocery store? Yes. Keep it simple, let it flow, and just be genuine. Fourth, quality beats quantity every single time. I would rather have 5 people who truly understand my work and would enthusiastically recommend me than 50 vague contacts who sort of remember meeting me and maybe what I do. So this means being selective about where you invest your connection energy. Not every networking opportunity deserves your time. And not every person you meet needs to become a connection you maintain. Choose events and spaces where your ideal people are likely to gather and engage in conversations that feel natural and energizing. And then you don't have to follow up with everyone. Just follow up with people you genuinely want to stay connected with. Fifth, create simple systems for staying in touch. Relationships require maintenance. You see this in your personal life, with your partner, with your friends. And it doesn't have to be complicated though. Set a recurring calendar reminder to reach out to someone in your network each week. Keep a simple list of people you want to stay connected with and rotate through it. If you are on LinkedIn, you can be sure to star people that you want to keep in your network so that you see their posts and you can comment and you can share. And it's just a great way to remind yourself to stay in touch when life and business gets so busy. When you see a win from someone in your network, they launched something new or they got featured somewhere, they hit a milestone, take 30 seconds to celebrate them. These moments of acknowledgement strengthen relationships in ways that those formal networking events never could. Plus, you're also just being a good human. Sixth, make it reciprocal. The best business relationships are those where everyone benefits. Don't just think about what others can do for you. Think about what you can uniquely offer. Maybe you're great at introductions, or maybe you have a skill that would help someone in your network. Or maybe you just have a knack for asking the right questions when someone's working through a challenge. Your value in relationships isn't just about your business services. It's about who you are as a person and what you bring to the connection. Here's what this looks like in practice. Instead of attending 3 networking events each month, choose one that aligns with your values and goals. First of all, you will be able to show up for it because you will have the time and it won't exhaust you. And you can show up consistently and focus on having real conversations with a few people rather than trying to work the room. And instead of collecting business cards, exchange contact information with people you genuinely want to stay connected with, or find out their LinkedIn profile and connect with them, follow them after the fact. And follow up within a week with something from your conversation, or even that you were so glad to meet them and you look forward to seeing their posts. And instead of immediately pitching your services, look for ways to be helpful. Share a resource, make an introduction, and ask thoughtful questions. The beautiful thing about this approach is that it feels good. You're not performing or pretending or trying to be someone you're not. You're just showing up as yourself and looking for ways to connect with other people who are doing interesting and impactful work. And over time, these authentic connections become the foundation of a business that grows through these relationships rather than constant self-promotion. Your network becomes a source of referrals, collaborations, and opportunities because people know and trust your work. You don't have to choose between building meaningful business relationships and being present for your family. The right approach to connection honors both. And the most successful mompreneurs I know haven't built their businesses by being everywhere or knowing everyone. They've built them through authentic relationships with people who truly understand and value their work. You already know how to build relationships. You do it in your personal life all the time. Now it's just about being intentional with that same ability in your business. Thank you for hanging out with me today. And remember, you can absolutely have both your business dreams and your family life. I'll catch you next time on Mompreneur Truth Talks.
Thank you for spending time with me today in Mompreneur Truth Talks. Before you go, please do me a quick favor. If this episode spoke to you, please like, follow, or leave a review. Your feedback helps other ambitious moms find these conversations about designing a business and life that work together. All right, moms, I'll see you next time. And remember, success isn't about sacrifice or balance. It's about creating harmony and taking action steps that feel right for you.